There is something quietly powerful about remembering a life that once moved slower, not better, not worse, just slower. And in that slowness, there was space. Space to notice things, space to feel things, space to live without rushing past everything that mattered. If you're watching this, chances are you remember that life. Not perfectly, not every detail, but in fragments, a sound, a smell, a moment that returns without asking. And suddenly, you're there again. Not in your body, but somewhere deeper. So today, we're not going back in time. We're simply allowing those moments to move again. 1. The kind of morning that didn't rush you. There was a time when mornings didn't begin with urgency. No sudden alarms pulling you out of sleep. No immediate pressure waiting for you. You woke up slowly, your eyes adjusted to the light. And for a moment, you stayed where you were. Not because you had nothing to do, but because there was no need to hurry. The day had not started running yet. 2. The quiet before the house fully woke up, before voices filled the rooms, before movement took over the space. There was a quiet rhythm, a distant sound in the kitchen, a door opening gently, footsteps you could recognize. Without seeing, you didn't need to check anything. You simply knew. 3. The first sip of the day. It wasn't about coffee or tea. It was about the pause, holding something warm, standing near a window, looking outside without needing a reason. You weren't multitasking, you weren't distracted, you were simply there. 4. The world outside your window. You didn't need endless content. One street was enough, a familiar road, the same houses, the same people, and yet it never felt repetitive. Because you weren't watching to escape. You were watching to feel connected. 5. Time that didn't feel like it was slipping away. There was no constant awareness of time running out. No pressure to maximize every hour. Time existed, and you existed within it. Not chasing it, not losing it, just living inside it. 6. Conversations that stayed. When you spoke to someone, you were there, not half listening, not distracted, not waiting for your turn. You listened, you responded, you stayed in the moment. And because of that, conversations mattered. 7. Silence that didn't feel uncomfortable. There was a kind of silence that didn't need to be filled. You could sit beside someone without speaking, and nothing felt missing. That silence carried something. Understanding, presence, comfort. 8. Waiting without irritation. You waited for things, for people to arrive, for letters to come, for moments to unfold, and somehow, waiting didn't feel like a burden. It felt like part of the experience. 9. Letters that held more than words. A letter wasn't just information. It was time, effort, care. You held it. You opened it slowly. You read it more than once, and sometimes you kept it for years. 10. Afternoons that moved gently. There was a softness to afternoons. The world didn't rush. The light settled quietly. Even time seemed to slow down, and in that slow movement, you found rest, without needing to stop everything. 11. Doing nothing without guilt. Today, doing nothing feels wrong. Back then, it felt natural. You could sit, you could pause, you could exist without needing to justify it. And those moments often became the ones you remembered most. 12. Evenings that didn't end abruptly. The day didn't switch off. It faded. The light changed slowly. The air felt different. The pace softened. It was not an ending. It was a transition. 13. Children playing freely. No constant supervision. No structured schedules, just movement, energy, laughter, and when they returned home, they brought stories, not recordings, not pictures, stories. 14. Meals that gathered people. Dinner wasn't just about food, it was about sitting together, sharing space, sharing time. There were no interruptions, no divided attention, just presence. 15. Nights that felt calm. Night didn't bring noise, it brought stillness. the world quieted down, and so did your mind. You didn't need distractions to fall asleep. You simply rested. 16. Thinking without overload. Your thoughts were not crowded. They came one at a time, clear, understandable. You could sit with them without feeling overwhelmed. 17. Feeling emotions fully. Joy stayed longer. Sadness was not avoided. You felt things as they were, not filtered, not numbed, and because of that, they meant something. 18. Living without constant comparison. You didn't measure your life against others constantly. You weren't watching everyone else. You were focused on your own world. And that world felt enough. 19. Routines that didn't feel empty. You repeated the same days, and yet they didn't feel meaningless. There was comfort in familiarity. A sense of stability. 20. Time that felt full days felt longer. Not because they were slow, but because they were experienced. You noticed more. You felt more. And because of that, time stayed with you. 21. The absence of constant noise. There was less input, less information, less distraction. And in that absence, there was clarity. 22. Moments that didn't need to be captured. You didn't reach for a camera. You didn't think about documenting. You simply lived the moment. And somehow, it stayed anyway. 23. Relationships built on presence. You didn't need constant contact. Connection didn't depend on frequency. It depended on depth, and depth was always there. 24. Missing someone and feeling it fully. You didn't fix distance instantly. You felt it, you understood it, and that made connection stronger. 25. Ending the day with quiet completion. You didn't carry everything into the night. You reached a point where the day felt complete. Not perfect, just complete. 26. Waking up without dread. A new day didn't feel overwhelming. It felt open, something to step into, not something to survive. 27. Living without urgency. Not everything needed to happen immediately. There was patience, and that patience gave life its rhythm. 28. Finding meaning in small things. A conversation, a walk, a quiet moment. These were not distractions. They were life itself. 29. Being present without trying. You didn't practice being present. You were already there, fully, naturally. 30. Ending the day in stillness. No constant input, no endless scrolling. Just quiet. And in that quiet, you rested. And maybe that's what we miss, not just the past, but the way we experienced it. Slowly, deeply, completely. Because somewhere along the way, we didn't just change how we live. We changed how we feel life. We became faster, busier, more connected, and yet less present. But those moments, they didn't disappear. They stayed in memory, in feeling, in quiet spaces within you. And sometimes they return, not loudly, not all at once, just a small reminder of a life that once felt whole, and maybe it still can. Not by going back, but by remembering how it felt to truly be there. And if something in this video felt familiar to you, a moment, a memory, a feeling you thought had faded, then stay with us, because there are many more moments like these waiting to be remembered. You can support this journey by liking this video and subscribing to the channel so these memories, these quiet pieces of life, continue to move gently through time.